guys, welcome to another speed build. I hope you're all having a great day. Today we are over in Copperdale and I am building on a 20 by 20 lot, and you can see the specific lot up in the top left hand corner. I believe it has to do with Little Falls or something of the sort. I can't remember the name in particular, but it's like the lot that has the pier in front of it rather than behind it, because there's two lots around the same size. The one with the pier in the background is 20 by 15, and this one with the pier in the front is 20 by 20. And I honestly never build on this lot, and I'm not sure why. I think I just forgot how cute it was. I've built here a long time ago when high school years first came out, and that was before I started my YouTube channel, so you guys have never seen me build here. But that is how long ago I have built on this lot, and I want to build here a lot more often because of how cute it is, especially during fall time like this lot. Well, Copperdale in general gives me fall vibes, to be honest, even when it's not fall in the game, but with all the pine trees everywhere and the different colored trees. Some of them are different colors, especially the one that I use in this build in the front right corner of the lot. I put like a yellowish colored tree, and it just looks like fall to me, which I've honestly kind of been in the mood for fall. I know it's only July and I never get in the mood this early, but for some reason this year I am. I don't know what it is, but I'm ready for fall. I have even been to Hobby Lobby and got some new fall decorations already, and I felt so weird doing it. I was like the only one actually buying decorations. But if you see something that you like, if you don't get it, especially at Hobby Lobby, then you might miss out. Especially if you wait another month or two, like once fall actually starts, people start buying that stuff up like crazy. So if I see something that I love and I don't want to live without it, I'm gonna buy it. But I didn't go crazy, I just bought a few things. But anyways, this build is a small little house. It's not really a family home per se. It only has 2 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. And I furnished this for an aunt that is raising her nephew, and she is single as well. I thought that was such a cute dynamic, and I never build houses with Sims with this dynamic. Like, this was different for me, and I just thought it sounded so cute, so I wanted to do it. And I actually made her nephew a teenager, and that is the main reason why I decided to go with Copperdale before I even started to build this house. Because I mean, what perfect place to have a teenager than Copperdale? It's right in the same neighborhood as the high school, and it just kind of fit the dynamic. I felt like it was kind of perfect. And then when I was looking at inspiration pictures online, I came across a house that looked similar to this, not exactly, because you know in The Sims it's always different than in real life, but it looked similar, and I thought this style of house would look so good in Copperdale. It's almost like a craftsman-ish style. I'm really not sure what you would call it, but that would be my first guess. And I also just love Copperdale. I think it is so pretty, and I don't build here nearly enough, and I need to start doing it a lot more often. I think what throws me off with Copperdale is the fact that it doesn't have a sidewalk in the front of the lot. Like, the edge of the lot in the front doesn't meet a sidewalk, and most of the houses I build, I like to have a driveway or a sidewalk that meets the edge of the lot to another sidewalk in the rest of the neighborhood. Pretty much, you know, San Sequoia, Willow Creek, Newcrest, the main neighborhoods I build in, those sort of vibes, and Copperdale is not that, but that, you know, doesn't mean I shouldn't build here more often because of how beautiful it is. I don't have to have a sidewalk for all of my builds. Like with this house, for example, I have a pathway that's kind of like curved, and then it kind of fades away before it reaches the end of the lot. Like, that's the best way I found to be able to do lots like this that doesn't have a sidewalk or even dirt in the front that meets it, just like grass. So it's kind of like an awkward thing, but you can make it work if you try, I guess. So at this point in the build, I have the exterior pretty much done and I have it exactly how I want it. And then I do go back later in the build and finish up all the extra details, plus the landscaping and all of that. Right now, I am working on the floor plan. And like I said just a moment ago, this is a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom house. I have all of the bedrooms on the left side of the house. I really loved how the floor plan worked out that way. And then I have the heart of the home as soon as you first walk in. That is where the living room, kitchen, and dining room all is, which, yes, I was able to make all of it fit in that tiny little space. I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to pull it off, but I was happy that I did. The only thing is I don't use that dining table. I do use just like a single tile, like circular one, because I had to put 3 chairs at it and then push it up against the wall, but it worked out a lot better that way anyways. It looked cuter and it makes sense. There's only 2 Sims living here and they probably have some guests come over, but not a whole bunch. And then they have stools at the island and also the couch where they could sit at and watch TV. That's probably where they eat anyways. If the teen doesn't eat in his room, then probably sitting on the couch watching TV as he eats dinner. And then that last room off to the right of the house is an additional bathroom that I make into a bathroom and laundry room. It's like a 2-in-1. So as you guys probably know, if you've watched my builds before, a lot of the time I do light colored wood on the inside or even white in the kitchen, but I decided to do something a little bit different this time. I thought Copperdale was the perfect opportunity to go for a darker interior in the kitchen, dining, living room, literally all of the rooms, even the bedrooms. Everybody has pretty much dark furniture. And I know this is a very small house, so like why would I choose dark for a small house? But that kind of just fit the vibe. I felt like it made sense for Copperdale and I really liked it once I put the flooring in and the cabinets in the kitchen. Now, one thing I will not do, like I refuse to do this if I can help it, I do not like to have like a dark wood cabinet with a dark wood floor, or even a light wood cabinet with a light wood floor, or white on white. Like I don't like the cabinets in the kitchen to be the exact same color as the floor in the kitchen, if that makes sense. Like usually if I do a dark wood in the kitchen, I'll do like a white cabinet. But in this case, I really wanted the dark cabinets, and so I ended up pulling out some tile, and I did a sort of diagonal design in the kitchen, and you'll probably notice that leg on the stool at the island barely touches the brown wood flooring, and it did irritate me a little bit, guys, but I decided to act like I didn't notice. And, you know, I feel like that would happen in real life anyways. Like, you can't help the design of your kitchen when you have a house. Like, it's pretty much how it is, unless you want to spend thousands of dollars to fix it. It's pretty much how it is. So sometimes that would happen. Your stool isn't exactly going to fit at the kitchen island, and so it kind of is, you know, sticking out of the kitchen. It's fine. Just if you don't look, you're not gonna notice. That's what I did. I just ignored it. Oh yeah, I forgot that I went outside for a moment. I think I thought of something. I'm pretty sure I thought of that basketball hoop. And so I took a break on the inside to go put it before I forgot. Sometimes I will do that in a build. Like if I think of something, if I don't place it right then and there, then I will probably forget about it. But in the front of the house, I did put a basketball hoop for the nephew, and yes, he is gonna have to play on the grass. It's fine. It's The Sims. Like, it's fine. It's fine. It's not gonna hurt anything. In real life, that would suck to bounce a basketball on grass. I don't know. I've never tried it, but it just sounds like it wouldn't work very well. But in The Sims, you know, there's no difference. They can't tell the difference between concrete and grass. But I'm not sure if you noticed, next to the basketball hoop, I did put a couple of trash cans. And then I pulled out of the Eco Lifestyle debug menu, they have like trash bags itself, and I placed some of those next to the trash cans. I felt like that gave it kind of a realistic look, and I really enjoyed it. I've been wanting to do that a lot lately. but I just haven't thought about it during a build until after the fact, and I haven't been building builds that really called for that sort of look. But I felt like the aunt, you know, she's a salary person. She goes to work all the time, all day long, probably late at night. So the nephew's here a lot by himself. And it just seems like something a teen boy would do. Like if he doesn't have strict rules with his guardian, then he's just gonna leave the trash bags next to the trash can. You know, that's kind of like the vibe I was trying to give with that. But we are back inside, and how the floor plan laid out allowed me to have a little bit of a foyer way because the couch pretty much sections off the living room, and I really love that about the layout. And in this foyer-way, I added a little hall table with a bunch of clutter items on top. I have a purse for the aunt, a little cell phone and keys. We have some jars with some dog treats in there because I figured they have a dog too. Keep the teen company when the aunt is at work. And above that, I have a shelf with like dog leashes and stuff like that. I also have a digital photo frame there. I love those in The Sims. I think they add such a personal touch, and especially once you're like playing in the house, you can add your own family's photos in there. So it's just so adorable to have those. And here in the living room, I have a coffee table in front of the fireplace, but that does end up changing once I'm finished with this build and I'm trying to play test it, and I'm trying to light the fireplace. It will not light unless that coffee table is not there. So what I ended up doing, you'll see it in the screenshots later in the build, I ended up removing that coffee table and I added the circular one from Tiny Living instead. So I have the circular one and then I sized it down one and kind of placed it under that one. I love the look of that. I think it's so cute. And I placed it off to the side, so it's not directly in the center where the couches are, where I usually like to put my coffee tables. It's off to the side, which gives it a unique look. I thought it actually looked pretty good. And then that allowed you to be able to light the fireplace. So yeah. Which on that note, I recently was asked on one of my last videos, they told me that they really like my builds, which thank you, I appreciate that. But then they asked how like playable it is because I put stuff really closely together, which I do. I don't know why I like the look of that, but I love like tight fitting stuff in The Sims. I don't know, it feels more realistic to me. And I try to remember to play test it. Now, with that being said, I'm human, so I do forget. But yeah, I just wanted to bring that up. I pretty much feel like most of the time my builds are pretty playable, but there's going to be the instances where it's not because I forgot to playtest it, or I thought it would be functional, but it's not for whatever reason. So the answer is I try. I try, and if it's ever not playable, I'm sorry. I don't do that on purpose, obviously. Like, I build with the intent of you guys playing in the build. But yeah, with that being said, I also can't help but make stuff so close together because that's just my style, I guess. But yeah, I've been so bad at responding to comments lately. I've just been super busy. I know that's an excuse, but it is what it is, it's true. So I just wanted to bring that up in my video while I'm thinking about it. I felt like it was like the perfect opportunity because I was talking about something that I play tested and it made me think of that. So, which by the way, thank you to everyone that leaves comments on my videos. I really do appreciate them, and I am going to start trying to be better about replying to at least some of them, because I do appreciate you guys and I want you guys to know that. So we are now decorating the kitchen, which we are almost done with. I absolutely love the dark wood in the kitchen. These cabinets are like my favorite, especially when it comes to the darker swatches. I think they're perfect. And as far as the functional items in the kitchen, we have obviously the fridge, sink, microwave, and I decided to use the Dream Home Decorator stove and oven, which are separate from each other. I really enjoy using those when I think about it, especially putting the stovetop at the island. It just looks so nice, even though this aunt, like I said, she's a salary person, so she probably doesn't cook that often. But when she does love a good gourmet meal and a nice kitchen to cook in. So I could see her cooking like super nice meals in there. And then the nephew sitting there talking to her while sitting at the stool at the island, and it just looks nice. Or maybe they're throwing parties or whatever. And I also have a box of cereal from the kitchen clutter kit. I know I put those in all of my builds. I probably need to stop mentioning it at some point, but I just think that is so awesome that you could just grab a bowl of cereal. Like, how awesome is that? Especially in a build where you have like a teenager or kids. It's just so easy for them to go and grab a bowl of cereal from the cereal box instead of going to the fridge and going through all of those different like quick meal options and looking for a bowl of cereal and whatnot. It's just easier to click on the bowl of cereal instead. So I really like that. And I also put a coffee pot. I never do coffee pots and builds. I literally said that in like my last video, I think. But in this one I did because the aunt, you know, she's a salary person. She goes to sleep late, wakes up early, so she needs coffee. And maybe she's even like a caffeine addict or coffee addict, whatever that lifestyle is from Snowy Escape. I could totally see the aunt being that. But yeah, as I was explaining that, I did get the aunt's room done already. Her room came together very easily. I really love the colors in that room. I think they complement each other very well and they're super pretty. And I have a couple of those flower pressed portraits from Enchanted by Nature. I love those. I think they're so pretty. And I'm now working on the second bathroom. So the first bathroom, I do want to mention that I figured was more for like the aunt. I really wanted it to be a master bathroom, but I just hated the way it looked when I had both the bedroom door and the bathroom door right next to each other in the master bedroom. I just thought it looked so much better the way I have it here, where the door is in the actual hallway instead. But yeah, in this bathroom, well, actually in both bathrooms, above the sink where the mirror is, I usually place that base game triple light in all of my builds, and I get so tired of using the same one, but I love the look of having the lights above the mirror. You know how it is in real life where there's like a triple light or maybe a double light, whatever, there's a light above the mirror. I love to recreate that in The Sims, and I thought in this build, I could size down one of the other individual base game lights and place them all three in a row. And I wasn't sure how it was going to look, but it actually looks really, really good. And so I'm probably going to do that a lot more often. But we are now working on the teen's room, and his room turned out a little bit different than I usually do my teen boy's room. Obviously not too different because there's still a computer desk, you know, there's still sports balls laying around the room. I have a little weightlifting machine, or a large weightlifting machine, should I say. I figured this boy was super into sports and being athletic. He's probably on his football team at his high school, and I figured he wants to go to university and be on the soccer team there. Probably Foxbury. I did have a Foxbury flag, but I removed them. I thought it looked too busy. I wanted it to be relatively simple. I don't do simple too often in my kids' rooms or teens' rooms, and so it was nice and refreshing to do a more simple look in this one. But the main thing that's different about this room are the curtains, which I know might be an interesting choice. Those curtains from Cats and Dogs, specifically that swatch, just screams grandma to me, like country grandma's house, and it doesn't scream teen boy, but I really wanted like a plaid to go with the plaid bedspread. And I don't know, once I placed it, I thought they looked really, really good with each other. And then I put the rug down and all completed the look, you know? And like I said, I just kind of wanted to be different, so the best I could do was the curtains. But like I said earlier about the aunt working a salary person job and being gone a lot, I put a food delivery bag next to the teen's bed, and I just felt like that's probably left over from last night or something, and then he has a soda next to it. I put that little synthetic food rug underneath that so it looks like he dropped some stuff and he really needs to clean in there. I don't know, I just really thought that fit the teen boy living alone a lot of the time vibe that I'm kind of going for, you know? Kind of matches the trash bags next to the trash can outside. And I could totally see him like cleaning up really, really quickly before his aunt gets up in the morning or something, you know? And that is it as far as the inside of the house goes. We are now starting on the exterior once again, and on the front porch, I have a little bench with some pillows on it for decoration. And on both sides of the bench, I have some end tables with some lights and plants, just trying to make it look pretty cute. Instead of having like a regular mailbox in front of the house, I decided to do one of the wall mailboxes right next to the front door. I love those in The Sims. I think they're so adorable. I don't see them. I don't think I've ever seen one in real life, to be honest, but I live in Florida, so it must just not be a Florida thing. But I do think that they're super, super cute, so I'm glad I can at least add them to my houses in The Sims. Even if I can't in real life, I guess it's better to do it in The Sims than not to do it at all. I really don't know how that works. If you originally have a mailbox in the front of your house in the ground, can you just up and change it to a door or wall mailbox, or do you have to do something special? I have no idea. Not that I'm really gonna do that. I feel like my mailman would cuss me out every day. It's bad enough that I have packages delivered sometimes and they have to get out and drop it off. But getting out every single time, I would feel so bad for them. So I'm definitely not gonna do that, especially since they're, used to it being by the road here in Florida. So, but I am curious, like if you change it from roadside to the wall on your house, like, do you guys know how that works? If you do, let me know, because I'm kind of curious. I'm sure you can't just do it. Like, I'm sure you have to notify the city or something. But in the back of the house, we have a little umbrella and chair set, plus a grill. On the patio in the back, I have a chess table so that they can build their logic skill. And I do have some planter boxes in the corner of the backyard. I figured the aunt, her one and only hobby is gardening. And I'm not sure if you noticed, but in the kitchen, I used the garden to table kit. I added a little like dish with fresh veggies in it, and I figured the aunt really loves to garden, probably vegetables and fruits, so that she can actually use it in her cooking inside. She might be addicted to coffee, but she still likes to eat healthy. It's all about balance in life. But I really wanted to add a pool to this house, but obviously with how small the yard is, that was not gonna happen. I figured though, that body of water right off the lot, it actually has a tiny beach where you could swim. So I figured that was perfect for the teenager to go swim there instead of swimming at like their pool in the backyard since they have no pool. But I love that little detail of the Sims being able to go right there off the lot and swim. It also honestly makes more sense not to have a pool since it is right off of the shore like that, at least in my opinion. So we are now adding the last bit of landscaping. So I have hedgerow bushes all around the foundation of the house, and I'm also adding these bushes from the high school years debug catalog, I believe. I believe it's from high school years. We have these bushes in a lot of the packs though. And then I'm also pairing it with these hydrangeas from Royalty and Legacy, as well as these little circular base game yellow flowers to give a hint of color throughout it. Since I'm using the yellow window boxes, I thought it was missing something since I'm not using any yellow flowers in the actual landscaping on the ground. So once I added those little circular ones, I felt like it brought it all together. Something I love to do with landscaping, I don't do it a whole lot, but like I like to do it in Hanford on Bagley, and now in Copperdale they have these little pieces of grass clusters, I guess is the best way to describe them, and placing them around the lot, I feel like it looks so cute because it makes it blend in with the world around it, and it just gives some extra detail of like grass kind of growing longer. I don't know, it's hard to explain, but it just looks so cute, and like I said, it gives a good little detail. And I also recently have found out that I love to add these little white floral weed looking things. Like they look like the little white weeds in real life that look like flowers, but they're not, they're weeds. That's what those look like. And you can see that there's some of those off of the actual lot in the rest of the neighborhood. And so adding those in my build brought it all together and made it look like it's actually part of the world, you know, like it belongs in Copperdale right here. But I also think that they're so cute, and I love how I added a little bunch right on the edge of the fence, and it just looks like it's kind of overgrowing there. Maybe someone needs to mow or something. I don't know, I just thought it looked really, really nice. And last but not least is, of course, our terrain paint, which is just the typical terrain paint I always do, like the dying grass with a coat of garden soil on top of that. I did keep it relatively light for this build. I really, really loved how green it all looked. And that officially concludes our build for today. I had so much fun building this and going over it with you guys, and I hope you all enjoyed it as well. Of course, if you did, consider leaving a like and subscribing if you have not already, and comment down below what your favorite part of today's build is. Also, share this with a friend if they are simmers as well, and if you think that they would enjoy it. This is available on my gallery if you're interested. It is linked down in the description box below, which I think they recently changed the link to the gallery, so I do have to update that. If it doesn't bring you straight to my gallery page, it is just the Clumsy Simmer with no spaces. I hope you all have an amazing day or night. Stay tuned for the screenshots, and I'll see you all in the next one very soon. Bye guys!